So today we're going to delve into essentially two particular areas that I see limiting and holding people back from achieving their greatness, their success, their goals. One of those are bullshit stories. One of those is limiting beliefs. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Do you know you are your own worst enemy? You are the reason and only ever the reason that you've not achieved your goals. Understand that. So today we're going to delve into essentially two particular areas that I see limiting and holding people back from achieving their greatness, their success, their goals. One of those are bullshit stories. One of those is limiting beliefs. Now, we all have to some degree a set of limiting beliefs. We all have a set of BS stories as well. We've all got them. They're things from the past, but they are things that are hindering our future. So today we're going to delve into both of those two areas, and then maybe also some strategies about how we can learn to be aware of them, and then how we can begin to change them, because they can be changed, to give us a better future. So let's start with the bullshit stories, all right? Let's delve into those. And we've all got them. But you're unknowingly selling yourself a story. Like, you are selling yourself the idea of a scenario that you've created in your own mind. And you're using that scenario to get yourself out of things, give yourself an excuse. That's what you're doing. These bullshit stories are holding you back. They're ultimately keeping you in a comfort zone. They're keeping you in a place where you feel warm, fuzzy, and happy. And ultimately, these stories, they come from the past. They come from a long time ago in the past, whereby you probably had to create a story in your mind, a scenario in your mind, a something, probably to protect yourself. It would have been more than likely something you had no idea that was happening, but it would be something where you've created a barrier around yourself to protect yourself. Could be from bullying when you're at school, could be from fear, could be from lack of confidence. Generally, those are the big three. There are many other reasons, but to avoid the pain of those things, you've created stories to stop yourself going anywhere near those things. Now, for the most part, or for some of the part, that could be useful. Like, no one wants to walk into the situation of being bullied, right? But you might have created a story that kept you away from confrontation when you were a child to avoid bullying. Well, confrontation is something that happens in the adult world. You have to be able to stand up for yourself in the adult world. Otherwise, you're going to get trampled over. And that's going to absolutely ruin your self-esteem. Can you see how that little story, something that you may have done in the past, helped you in the past when you were 7? Now, as an adult, it does not serve you. So these are quite deep down things, and they will take quite a little bit of reflection to understand when they're happening. Just be conscious of hearing yourself say the same things over again, as if you're stuck on a fucking record, because those are the stories coming to the surface to protect you. Or, the avoiding the confrontation is a really good one. People don't like saying no to people, even when it's for their own good. No, I'm not happy with this situation. I don't want that. Don't want to do that. Don't need to know about this, whatever it might be. People want to please other people, so they say yes too often. Now, imagine, let's take ourselves back. Maybe you were a child. Maybe there was a teacher who you wanted to please, because when you got praise from the teacher, you felt good. Dopamine, you felt good. So you created a set of beliefs and a story that if you do this thing, you get this result. Very normal. But it worked when you were at school or at college or wherever. Is it fit for purpose now? Some of them will be, some of them won't. Your job is to recognize what stories you're holding on to that are now not fit for purpose. So that's bullshit stories. You've all got them. We've all got them. You just need to become aware of when they float to the surface and be like, oh, do you know what? Like, this thing keeps happening. It's like, I've noticed this thing. What is it? And then you need to go on a bit of self-discovery. And it'll be painful because it'll be stuff that you've forgotten about, man. Like, you will not remember having created these stories. You won't know that they happened. It would have been for self-preservation a long time ago, probably. To get you away from bullying, to get you away from fear, to avoid lack of self-confidence or self-esteem or something along those lines. It'll be somewhere in and amongst those things. Go and have a think about that. The next area is limiting beliefs. Now, these can be things that they can also be from way back in the past, but generally these are picked up along the way. This is where you try something, you fail, you now have a belief that you can't do that thing. You try to stick to a diet, it doesn't work and you fail, and you now have a limiting belief that you can't stick to diets. Well, that's a load of rubbish, isn't it? You could if you found the right one and you had the big enough reason why and the support around you to make it work and a bit of a kick up the arse, it would work. You could stick to a diet. Like, if I put you in a prison cell and fed you the same 3 meals every day, you'd stick to it because you'd have no bloody choice. And actually, you'd be very thankful for the 3 same meals that I gave you 7 days a week because you've got no other options. So don't tell me you can't stick to a diet. It's a load of shit. It's a self-limiting belief. A self-limiting belief is something that is not true. It's like we call it a not in my backyard. Oh, God, you train so hard. Like, I could never train like that. Oh, well, no, now you've just told yourself you can't. No, you bloody can't. So well done. Because again, what you've done here is self-deprecate. You've talked yourself down. You've limited your beliefs. You've just brought your potential down as far as you possibly can. Why? Because now you're in your comfy zone. A limiting belief will keep you in your comfort zone. Like, and it's a phrase we've all heard, but ultimately, nothing changes in your comfort zone. If you want something in your life to change, like genuinely, if there's something in your life you're not happy with, maybe it is your body, maybe it's your physique, maybe it's your body fat levels, maybe it's your health, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's your work. If there's something in your life that you're not happy with, it's down to you to fucking change it. Like, no one else is going to come along and, there's no knight on a white horse coming to save you. Like, it's not happening. You've got to sort it out yourself. So to do this, you need to grow out of your self-limiting beliefs. I see these in business, people thinking that they can't achieve certain levels of business, or they can't achieve certain levels of strength, or they can't achieve certain levels of whatever it might be. Within reason, get a load of this. If in reason, another human being has done something, then why can't you? Now, of course, there are certain things that other people have done that you won't be able to do. Like, probably someone like Usain Bolt can probably run a 100-meter sprint faster than you ever will, right? Granted, there are things out there that you're never going to be able to do. But for the most part, if someone out there has achieved something, then it means it's possible. And why would it not be possible for you? Just because you think it isn't? Because you've told yourself it isn't? Because you've got a bullshit story and a limiting belief that you can't do this? You carry on believing those stories and those limiting beliefs and be happy being unhappy. Probably. Be happy not achieving your true potential. Now, just imagine, X amount of years down the line, you're laying there on your deathbed, having lived the life inside your bullshit stories and your limiting beliefs. And the last person that walks in is the version of you that dealt with the bullshit stories and broke out of their limiting beliefs. And you get to spend an hour talking to them. Now, just imagine you get to see the person you could have become, the version of you that grew to the potential that you had, because you've got the potential. You've just got to move these things aside to be able to go and actually follow it. I'm not saying that path is going to be easy. It's not. It's going to be littered with failure. Failure only means one thing. You're fucking trying. If you're not failing at things, you ain't trying. You're not trying hard enough. Think about that. Get used to learning to fail. And then the phrase is fail forward. Fail and fall forward. Don't fail and fall backwards and be like, oh, well, I failed. This is now a belief that I can't do something. Fail and go, right, well, this is, okay, I've worked out that this thing doesn't work. What would be the next best option? What's a version of that thing that I can now go and try and do that will move me forward? You must, honestly, you must be continually trying to strive forward. So let's delve a little bit further into some strategies. So what can you do to fix these things? So one, do a little something that scares you every day. Do a little something that scares you every day. In other words, do something out of your bloody comfort zone every day. Could be anything. Who knows what that might be? Like for a lot of people, that's doing something like this, like, maybe talking in public, maybe, seeing if you can go a little bit further without drinking alcohol. See if you can go a little bit further, sticking to a nutrition plan. Like, oh my God, I don't know if I can get past that 2-week mark. Like, what happens the other side of that? Like, fucking try. Do a little something that scares you every day. Push yourself knowingly out of your comfort zone. Find the thing that scares you, go and do it a little bit more. That's the only place progress is made. Where something feels like it's the unknown, it's scary, that you might fail. Yeah, it's all of those things. And so fucking what? Go and do them. If you say you can't, therefore you must. This is not my saying. This is Ben Pekulski. I've heard him say this first on his podcast. It's a cracking saying. If you can't, therefore you must. Because if you go through your life saying, I can't do that, then that's it. That's you. Well done. Good luck boxing yourself into that little prison. When you say, I could never do that, fuck. Now I've got to go and do it. Now you've got to go and do it. Whatever that thing might be. Oh, do you know, I could never run a marathon. Oh shit. Now you've got to go and do it. Prove to yourself. And maybe not just to yourself. What about your kids? What about your family? What about the people who are watching you? If they see, if you're out there and you've got kids and at the moment, say they're, I don't know, anywhere between, goodness, 5 and, I don't know, late teens, they're watching you. You're their leader. Behavior breeds behavior. Do you want that? Do you want your kids to grow up thinking, I'll just, not really try. My parents, my dad, my mom, they just sort of seem to hold themselves back. So clearly they played it safe and that's the way to do it. Do you want that for them? Or do you want them to try everything possible to be the best and everything that they could possibly be? You would. So fucking start yourself. You need to start doing that. Show them how it's done. All right? Get comfortable with the feeling of feeling uncomfortable. The feeling of feeling uncomfortable doesn't mean you're dying. It just means it's uncomfortable. But you do it often enough, and guess what? Suddenly it's comfortable. Why? You've just expanded your comfort zone. Never self-deprecate. Never talk yourself down. Okay, don't do exactly the opposite and talk yourself up to the point where you're arrogant. But there's a big difference between what most people do to themselves and people who are arrogant. There are not many arrogant people walking about. There are a lot more people who are like, oh, woe is me, talking myself down. I can't do that. I'm not worthy of this. I could never achieve that. I see far more of that. And I'm like, fucking hell, yeah. Like you tell yourself these things enough, and that's your life. Like, good luck being unhappy. Your body does not know if you're joking about, oh, fucking hell, I could never do that. Like, your body doesn't know. You've got to understand that those vibes that you're kicking off become your reality. The world which you live in is just your perception of the world. It's just your perception. The world is, I've said this before, the world is not the same for everybody. Everybody's perception of the world is different. So if you want to change your world, you change your perception. Get rid of the bullshit stories. Get rid of the limiting beliefs. So hopefully that has helped a few people out there today. I found that one. I found these things super useful when I first learned about them, and hopefully you found that useful. We're still running our competition. So there is a competition out there that if you were nice enough to leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast and follow the link in the show notes and follow the instructions in there, you will put yourself into a draw to be one of 2 lucky winners to win 3 months of free training with us here at Naylor Body Design. That's worth $5,000 each. It's a total prize pot of 10K's worth of training that we're giving away. So you've got the opportunity to win one of those 5K 3 months of training. All you need to do, 5-star review, please and thank you. Subscribe to the podcast and follow the link in the show notes. And all the best of luck to you. Outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Catch you on the next show.